Omid and Kojo show.
Hey yo yo!
Oh.
That was loud. Welcome to the Omid and Kojo show. I'm Omid.
I'm Kojo.
I'm JFung.
And together this is the Omid, Kojo and JFung show. This is a new and improved show because now we have the man of the hour, the man behind the scenes at Kojo's Trick Lab. He's doing all his coding and his magic with the technology.
Mr. Tech.
So how about we do a quick section where we talk about how we know him and what his role is in KTL.
Yeah.
So you start the ball rolling. How did you know him? This pesky little fung.
So I first met JFung long time ago, back when he was switching all the time, doing his jumpy little switches, bouncing around.
And his little hand fringe.
Yeah. Maybe 2011 or 12. Like wait,
I don't think that early.
it was pretty early.
12 or 13 maybe.
No, well we went to your gathering in 2012 and we already knew you then.
Is that when it was, the XY gathering?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I stand corrected.
Well, he came to UTX, he was doing his snappers and his 540 gyros. And yeah, that's it really. That's pretty much it. I was doing flips, he was doing flips, Omid was doing flips. So we all did flips together. It was a right laugh.
Well, when I met JFung for real, I didn't know who he was. So
I remember you telling me about this.
I went to a university session and I wanted to speak to him about the gathering. Was it the gathering?
I don't know what you wanted to speak to me about. I just, at the end of the session, because I had to get the train back to Leicester, I remember being like, anyone want to come to McDonald's because I was hungry and only you wanted to go, so just me and you went together.
Well, there was a reason I wanted to speak to you, and I was like, I don't know who this little... I was expecting to see like a super Chinese man, but there was no Chinese people at the session, and then somebody mentioned that your name was Jordan, and so I think at the end of the session I came up to you and I was like, you Jordan Fung? And you were like, yeah, who the fuck are you? And I was like, I'm Omid, obviously.
I didn't know that you already knew me. I thought that was like our first time.
Kojo told me to speak to you.
About the gathering.
And I think it was about the gathering, so then we were like, let's go McDonald's. And then I remember just being a bit confused the entire time. And I liked your wallet. And then I came to your gathering. And yeah, the rest kind of history. And then you were really nasty to people throughout the time that I've known you.
I can't think of one time when I've been nasty to
When
anyone.
we were at Basingstoke, we were at Genetrix gathering.
No, I sorted people out.
Walked past some homeless people. They had no peas.
I forgot about that.
Oh, it's so stupid.
It made sense at the time.
Yeah, there was whole context.
It was a different time.
Yeah. And we've all grown and changed since then. Now he only shouts at
Now I'm in
a small
no
number.
peace.
Yeah, I'm the one with no peas.
Mainly
And he
shouting
likes
at you.
reminding me. But yeah, so then these two entered into a budding relationship of business and pleasure.
A pleasure site. 16 plus.
Kojo's pleasure
pleasure
love.
site.
The pleasure
Premium
love.
membership.
And yeah, so what's all that about? What?
So JFung does the site making sure it's working,
Do a lot of that.
and sorting out people who have problems with the site and designing stuff. And then I do the video making and the people coaching and letting you lot know about the joy that is Kojo's Trick Lab. Getting the word out there. It's frustrating when you have something that can be so useful for so many people, but no one really knows what it is.
Well, why don't you just make it free then?
It wouldn't exist if it was free. Because who's going to pay all these trickers to do these tutorials? It's hard enough to get a tricker to do a tutorial if you are paying them. Imagine if it was free.
Yeah.
They just wouldn't do it ever. Like, they just would not bother.
We can't dedicate our lives to something if it's free. Like, this is what we do 100% of the time. Well, Kojo does a little bit of coaching. I do a few little bits here and there, but we pretty much spend our lives doing this, and we can't do that for free. Or we can't make it as good as we want to make it if we do it for free. We could make it really shit and do it for free, but
it's as cheap as it can be, though. I think it's reasonably priced. I think it's not overpriced, especially now we have so many videos on there. To be honest.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I understand that. I'm just speaking for the people. This is Kojo's Trick Lab versus the people. Why don't you?
The way I'd put it, it's like, would you rather spend £10 a month for $12 or whatever, the price of a coffee every week, and have a really good website with great tutorials from loads of really good trickers, including Michael Guthrie, who had never made any tutorials before? Or would you rather pay nothing and then just have random people who aren't very good making tutorials every so often? Like, because I'd rather just pay a little bit and have like really good service.
Consistent service as well. 6 videos a week.
Yeah.
The plug. No, I mean, I fuck with it. I think more people should be doing higher quality things, and you guys are kind of paving the way for that as well. Because, like, I think I remember when you first released KTL, there was a lot of people that were skeptical about it, and they were like, "But why did you have to pay for it? Oh, why?" And it's like, well, you don't just go to a swimming lesson and just get it for free. You have to pay to be taught things, because the people that have spent their entire lives dedicating their time, energy, mental and physical, to getting really fucking good at something, you should be paid for your knowledge.
But it's because of YouTube and because people are kind of used to getting all these useful videos for free, which I understand. And it would be possible to make it free if tricking was a much, much bigger sport. Because if tricking was a huge sport, loads of people were doing it, then you could do what we were doing and just make money from ad revenue and sponsors and selling clothing and stuff. But as tricking's such a small niche sport, and like not that many people are that interested in a Mike Guthrie tutorial. Like, I'm sure there's a few thousand who are into tricking enough where they'd be like, yeah, I'd love to see a Mike Guthrie touchdown race tutorial. But a few thousand people isn't going to make any money from AdSense. So yeah, mainly that's why it can't all be on YouTube, just because it's not a big enough market. We kind of need the trickers who really want this stuff to be prepared to support it. Otherwise it just won't exist. And that's why things like this haven't existed for so long, because most trickers aren't prepared to support like tricking brands.
Well, that's something that I've always kind of thought is a bit confusing, although I do kind of understand it at the same time. Like, the people that profess to love tricking so much, whenever there's something that is, I don't know, being pushed for the good of tricking, the second they need to do anything, they're just like, well, no. Well, it's like, well, if you love it that much, then why would you not support it? Like, me promoting it and stuff, like me doing anything that I do, obviously it's a bit different because you're my mates, but like, I just see a good thing and I'm like, yeah, this should be promoted. People should be signing up to this shit. Because if I had this when I was coming up, then I probably wouldn't have made so many stupid mistakes and tried double corks before I could cork. It just doesn't make any sense. But at least you're doing it, and I don't know, it just keeps getting better. There's always the progress. I see how hard you guys work, so just, yeah, keep on going. Yeah. Would you ever consider making it free in the future? Let's say, what would it take for you to make it free? How would it be possible to make it free in the future?
If there was, I don't know, if there's some kind of funding from something, like a decent amount, enough to the point where we can like live, but also be able to invest in the site and making it better. Because that's one thing. It's one thing making enough money to live off, but we need money to like improve the site and keep it like top of the game. Keep all these videos coming from new people constantly.
Bringing out an app in the future.
Oh yeah, that was going to be my next question. So I know a lot of people have been asking why.
They always ask.
Why is there no app? Break it down for me real quick.
Apps are expensive.
Give me a ballpark number, just so people.
I don't know. We're looking at probably putting down like 10 grand to make an app that's worth having.
Well, I think it's for.
just because it's going to be coded from the ground up.
Yeah.
Because I've been
Well, it has to be.
I've been looking into kind of like third-party applications that could host the website within an app, or create something that looks like an app, like based on what the site already is, but it's just not going to be a great user experience. So to create something from the ground up that's actually worth having, and including like new features that we don't actually have on the site, it's going to need someone working on it full time.
Well, it's kind of pointless if you're just going to make the website embedded within an app, because
it's a bit easier to use on a
no.
phone.
I'm saying if you literally have a third-party application that hosts the website, then you may as well just go on Google Chrome on your phone and just do that. So it's absolutely no different.
Doing it that way would just be a waste of our money. It puts us further away from releasing something awesome, which is what we want to do.
But yeah, the reason I ask is because obviously I think it's important for people to know, and people ask these questions because, one, if there's not already an answer out there that's like definitive, I have said it will cost this much money, then I can kind of understand why people. But then if you think about it for like a second, obviously it's not a free thing to just make an app. There's so much that goes into it, front and back end. So obviously you need to kind of wait.
It's a big project. Like, it's bigger than making the app is a bigger project than making the website to start with. So
no, that's fair.
But if anyone out there wants to work on it with us, send us a message and we can see what's happening.
That's cool. So what's the future? What's the future looking like for Kojo's Trick Lab?
Oh, good question. I want to move towards daily content in the future. This is something I really want to do. I just want to have enough of a backlog of videos so that we can keep it nice and consistent, and have just a new video out every single day. So there's always something for people to like check back on and see, just to keep everyone engaged in the site, and it's like constantly improving. I want to get that constant improvement really. And then also just make the user experience way better is one of the main things I'm thinking about now. Because we've got a lot of content. The main thing is the user experience now, because we know how to get more content. I can always do that. There's so much of tricking. There's so much knowledge around every single trick, and there's so many tricks. I'd never run out of ideas for videos. So yeah, it's just presenting them better, really.
I want over the next 12 months, I want the KTL team to grow, because at the moment it's just me and Kojo. We have Guff and Vios making his videos as well, so I guess they're kind of included in the team. But I know Kojo spends most of his time just editing videos, which is useful. Like, we need that to run the website, but it's almost like a bit of a medial task for him. So his time could be better spent doing other things if we had more people on the team, making the content better and allowing us to do more useful things to make the site even better.
Yeah, we could make so many more videos if there was more editing help, because it just eats up so much time. And then marketing as well. It'd be good if there was just someone for editing and marketing. And just did that.
But over the next 12 months, it'll hopefully get to that point where we've got more people doing like smaller jobs instead of just two guys doing all of the jobs ever.
Okay, cool. Swear. Well, that's good to hear. So, anything else you want to talk about KTL related directly?
Yeah, I wanted to add one more thing about people paying for it, actually. I know. So, one of the things that I've noticed, especially with like doing things online, if you get something for free, you don't value the content. I've seen a lot of people get access to free content, not tricking content, other things like just other skills that you can learn online, web design, just how to do stuff. If you get the content free, you don't value it. You might download the course, install the app, whatever it is you need to do, and it will sit on your computer. You'll never even open it. If you've paid money for something, that's in the back of your head. I paid for this. I need to use it. I need to get some value out of it. And I'm not saying that we make people pay for it for that reason, but it is like a little byproduct of the fact that they have to pay for it. So if you are paying for it, you're just going to value that content more, use it more. You're going to get better. And you're going to want to use the site more. So, I just wanted to.
That's true, actually. Because I see, like, if it was free, then we'd have a load of people who didn't really, like, appreciate it at all. Like you get on YouTube. Like how you have, plenty of haters and people on YouTube who are looking at what you're making for entertainment, for them, for free, and complaining about it. So you get a lot more of that. And if I was dealing with that all the time, then I wouldn't really want to bother. I wouldn't want to bother spending every single day working on this if I was just having a load of people give me shit about it and not appreciating it. But when they're paying, then at least I know people appreciate it enough to pay. So it motivates me to work hard to give them the best I can, because I know that they're prepared to, like, if they're prepared to actually pay money for it.
Yeah, they're investing.
Yeah, they actually care.
Because it's not just the actual money that they're paying. Obviously, it takes time for them to earn that money.
Yeah.
But I mean, even if it's of, like, I don't know, their parents saying, like, yeah, you got to wash the dishes or whatever the case may be, or them going to work and spending all these hours to, you know, get the money or whatever. So yeah, no, I agree. I feel that, because that does kind of make it difficult sometimes. Like when I release a video, when I've really put a lot into it, when I've been working on it for hours, like 12 hours, just editing it, and then there's all the filming and thoughts that go on behind that. Then I post it, I'm like, I think this is my favourite video ever, and then the third comment is, this is shit, why is this here? And I'm like, because it hurts so much more when you're really putting so much time and effort and energy into it.
Yeah.
Whereas if it's just a bit of a fucking whatever, but at least, yeah, the people that are investing in it, they're not just investing time into it.
Well, and one other thing as well. This is one thing I do feel kind of where I do wish it was free in some ways, because when I get kids messaging me whose parents won't let them have it, or it's a kid who lives in like some third world country, which I get quite often, and they want to learn tricks, then I do feel bad that they don't have access to all of this, because I'd love for them to be able to access all that we have, because especially if you live somewhere where it's like really tough, I'd love for them to have access to all this information so that they can push their tricking really far. But there's no way really to do that. I can't just give it free to some people.
Well, hopefully in the future, like if, for example, you said there was some funding, I don't know how that would be possible. I genuinely don't really see a way that it could be possible. But at the end of the day, it's like, I don't know, I've seen people be skeptical whenever there's a paywall behind anything. But at the end of the day, like, it's not just you're like, right, let's make as much money out of tricking, because at the end of the day, if you wanted to make a bunch of money, tricking isn't the thing that you're going to be investing your time into.
We're in the wrong sport if you want to do
the
that.
The amount of time that you've put into this does not, I don't know, if you spent the same amount of time on investment banking, you'd be fine. You'd just be fine by now. But
there's a lot of things.
Yeah.
I mean, if I just put even this amount of effort into doing like one-to-one coaching, if that's all I was focusing on, trying to get as many of them in as I could, probably make quite a lot. It just doesn't have as big a reach.
That's the thing, like you can't help as many people, and you can't really change things when you're doing it in such a small space.
Yeah.
Whereas this is the entire world. And yeah, like I said,
I don't know, but for me personally, the Guthrie tutorials are what I'm like proudest of about it. How, because obviously he'd never made any tutorials, so these things just wouldn't have existed if no one was prepared, which they haven't been until this point, to pay Mike to talk about stuff.
sorry.
And also to make tutorials and all that, then it just wouldn't exist.
Yeah.
And his tutorials are incredible, because I worried at first. I was like, he's incredible at tricks, but how well can he teach them? He can teach them really well as well.
Fantastic.
Yeah, from the ones that I've seen, they are like, I don't know, everything's so concise. It all seems so methodical, and it all makes sense.
Yeah.
When he says, well, you just think about it like this, and sometimes you'll use a crazy analogy, but it makes so much sense, and it all just adds up perfectly as to why he is capable of what he's capable of.
It sounds stupid to say like, oh, what's the secret? Or what's the secret to getting good? But he knows things that other people don't know.
Yeah.
Like there's a reason he's so good.
There is no secret. There's no like, right, if you know this piece of information, you will land this trick.
It's not a
but
shortcut.
At the end of the day,
there are little secrets.
Well, let's make it as easy as possible. Because the easier it is for the more people it's easy for, or easier for, the better tricking will be overall.
But then you have, now I've had this is a stupider argument. Because when people say, oh, I wish I didn't have to pay or whatever, why is it not free? It's like, yeah, it's annoying, but I get it. But there's one argument I don't get. People tell me they don't want to see the tutorial because they just want to learn it by themselves. Because they don't want to trick like anyone else. And I'm like, You are so stupid. I had a guy commenting about it the other day. I was like, you're so dumb. He was like, yeah, but everyone's going to just trick the same. It's like, no, you're not going to watch Mike Guffey's tutorials and just become him. That's not how it works. You can be struggling with a trick really hard. The tutorial will give you some guidance towards getting it. But when you learn the trick, you're still going to be doing it in your way. Listen, you're not just going to do it like the person in the tutorial. It's not how it works.
If Mike made enough tutorials on enough tricks and somebody managed to replicate even 5 of his tricks, I would pay them half of the money in my account right now.
You pay them 20 quid.
It's £6.25.
Well, that'd be good. Even if someone managed to get a few good-looking tricks.
Ain't nobody doing that though. I guarantee you're not going to watch a tutorial and make it like Mike's. It's just not going to happen.
If you do, if you think your tricks look like Mike's, send it in.
Send it in, and I'll have a good laugh, because that's just not the case. Because if you did, then I would know about you.
We'll get you on the site making some vids. If your tricks look that good.
Well, introducing the Mirror Man to KTL. If you show him anything, he can do it almost exactly the same.
But yeah, on to the next
topic. Now
topic.
we've covered that. Let's talk about all things that aren't KTL related, because I'm fed up of hearing about KTL.
And me too.
Right, so should we talk about some of our hilarious gathering experiences that we've shared together? Are you down for that?
What gatherings do you want to speak about?
First of all, there's a pinnacle point in the Omid and Kojo tricking history. Our first international gathering. You went to that, didn't you?
Swag?
Yeah.
Yeah, I went.
No,
The swag gathering
Sort
in
of same.
Stockholm, winter time, maybe December.
Nah, it was just after New Year. It was the second or 3rd of Jan that we went.
And it's freezing, there was snow everywhere.
I can't remember when that was. That was a long time ago.
That was our first ever gathering.
So
that's the only reason I remember.
I got a bit of a story about that actually. So this is our first trip abroad. And this was at the time when I was at university and I had no money. So I was going on this trip abroad and I had like £30. I just had £30 to go. I was going away with £30 for like 4 days. I thought that'll do. It didn't. My mom ended up giving me money before, and I was being such a dick about it. I was like, I'm not gonna need this. I'm not gonna need this £50, mom. There's no way. And then I got there. Instantly, we had to spend like £20 on the train.
Now, what we didn't realise, we were going to one of the most expensive countries, not only in Europe, but one of the most expensive in all of Scandinavia. And Scandinavia is just the most expensive ever.
It's
And
bad.
I remember I was trying to buy a drink and there was a vending machine. I was like, oh, thank the Lord. Been looking for a shop for ages. I looked, a can of Coke was like £3.50. I could not believe my eyes. I was so thirsty. I just had to buy it. And I'll never forget that.
I bet it tasted great.
No, it tasted like regret. But yeah, that was a crazy experience for us. Because I remember everyone thought I was John Vanek. Everyone... Yeah, you forgot what I looked like when I was younger.
Young Vanek.
I
I thought I was Danny Graham.
Yeah. I remember I just didn't know anybody. I was so confused. It was just in this big...
That was a crazy place to have it. It was like in a big convention. I don't know what the convention was. Just like an urban convention.
Yeah, they had segways and shit though.
There was
the first time
segways.
I've been on a segway. It was
There was
sick.
a free running thing there as well because Stora were there.
What?
Yes.
Yeah.
Star over there.
Oh yes, matey. Known them since day. Got friends in high places.
But no one was at the convention. It wasn't like people were walking around. There just was different things happening.
Fucking freezing. I remember I went outside with a massive jacket and it was too cold. It hurt my face. But yeah, from that point, we then went. Was that before or after? No, that was after LXG and stuff.
Yeah.
Because like JFung's.
Yeah, LXG was in Christmas.
No, not LXG. The Euro Tour.
UK X Swipe.
Yeah.
That was in the start of the summer, or was it the end?
Because the first gathering, both of us. No, my first gathering was a gathering that JFung organised, and it kind of changed everything for me.
Was that Christmas gathering before?
Nah,
it
that
was
was the X-Swipe.
Oh, that
Tell
was
me about
X-Swipe.
your first gathering experience. What was that like for a young Omid?
Oh, it was mad. So I didn't know what a gathering was. I remember I was down in St Ives. Kojo called me. It was back when he was called Sam, and
Way back.
called me up, and he was like, "Yo, do you want to come to this gathering?" I was like, "What is that?" No. Because Kojo, we didn't really have that kind of relationship at that point either, because we hadn't known each other for that long. And I was just like, what is all this? I just remember I loved my flips. So I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. It's in Leicester, and I thought, this would be cool, because I haven't met that many trickers like outside of Birmingham. And I was like, I'm getting better as well. I'm progressing at a pretty fast rate. And I got there, I saw Sando for the first time.
That's a crazy first gathering.
It changed my life. I see Sando, I meet Scott Skelton, I meet fucking Bozzy as well. Bozzy really changed shit for me. Bozzy really changed shit for me, because he paved the way for my style. If it weren't for me seeing Bozzy in person then, I wouldn't have started learning scissors.
Oh, so you've seen Bozzy's?
Yeah, I saw Bozzy doing scissors, and the way Sando was moving and stuff. And there was just Volty as well. Back when Volty was killing shit.
Sweet little Volty.
Volty blew me away with his double B swings and stuff.
He blew my mind. And Volty did B to a swing double cork on this like crash mat floor at the gym we were sleeping at.
Yeah, it was in like no space.
Thick, so you get no bounce from it. It's like
an anti-bounce floor.
And he just could B to a swing double cork on it so easily. Blew my mind.
Yeah, but that was a really crazy first gathering experience, and it just kind of changed my outlook, because I remember I was like, right, I am shit. I am so bad. I hate it. And that's where I met my arch nemesis. What was his name? Max McCarthy. Max McCarthy, if you're watching this, I'm going to fight you with my fist. No, I'm not. But I remember he told Jam that I was shit because I couldn't do double cork. And I was trying cork and stuff. And he didn't realise that Jam knew me. And he was mocking me and being nasty. And then I was like, right, next time I see him, I'm going to be able to stomp double corks. And yeah, then I kept training to get better than Max McCarthy, my nemesis. And I remember just thinking I need to be way better for the next gathering. And then went to the next gathering, realised it doesn't matter how good you get, everyone's already way ahead of you.
Yeah, you can get, I don't know, better though.
No, but that's what inspired me to keep going.
Yeah.
Because like, when I'd go and I'd learn new stuff, because I was learning new tricks every single day, and I was learning new combos and all this sort of stuff, and it was so much fun. And then I'd go to a gathering and I'd just look at everybody else and be like, I'm having this much fun being this limited with the tricks that I can do. I can't even imagine how much fun they're having, because when I'm looking at them, everyone just looks like they're kind of walking on the air and floating.
Yeah.
And everyone, once you get past a certain level, you get this kind of float about you that you don't have before that. And then once you break through, there's another layer, and there's another layer, until you're literally just Sando, just kind of prancing around on the air. And that's what I was striving towards. I just wanted to feel what they were feeling, so I just kept on training until I became a dirty old man who can't do flips.
It was a good gathering.
Now you go.
Did my first switch dub at that gathering.
Really?
I did switch dub before I did gainer switch from gainer. Remember, I was too scared to do gainer switch from gainer. I thought it'd go into my head. And cork dub, I did cork dub before cork swing gainer. I was too scared to swing gainer. I could only swing cork out of stuff.
I suppose if you just train corks, that does make sense.
Yeah.
But yo, I saw that clip of you jumping on your head the other day. The one after the
Which
Webster.
one? After what?
Webster, and then you were going to go to like step back raise, I think, or something. You just jumped on your head. That's too funny. But yeah, what was your first gathering experience like? Because you're actually quite an OG.
No, not as old as... We had Bozzy on. He'd been to a lot more things before I'd even started. So my first gathering was UK 11, one of the grass gatherings. And I only went to that...
Grass gathering. Imagine that. If someone did a grass gathering now, I'd laugh at them.
Hey, I'd go. It would be cool. Maybe we should organise a grass gathering.
We just have it in the back garden.
No one do any tricks.
Actually, yeah, that's what a grass gathering would be like for us.
Everyone
especially
sitting
in this
down.
country. Everyone just like, oh, my knees. Anyone go gym later?
No.
Steam room? Yeah.
Yeah, so I went to UK 11. That was my first gathering, and I only went to that because I met Bozzy 1 week prior to that gathering. So I was like not in the community, didn't know anybody. I was like really young, and I could only do, I could do gainer switches, probably 5 or 6, but because at this point, or the week before that gathering was the first time I'd met Bozzy, and that was the first time I'd met anyone that was a tricker. Before then, I thought I was the only tricker in the UK. I thought I was paving the way.
JFung, just the innovator of this new sport.
Yeah, so I thought I was like on top of it. But because of that, I had like a bit of a warped perception on tricks, on the name of the tricks, how to train. I just did weird stuff, so I could do 5 or 6 gainer switches, but before that I just saw a moonkick online, so then I thought my gainer switches were called moonkick swings. And I could do a snapu, not the best snapu, but I could do a snapu.
What a weird selection of tricks.
Yeah, I'll tell you.
How long had you been tricking at this point?
Oh, probably 2 years.
Damn.
But what had happened was I'd been watching tricks for like a long time before I started tricking, so I knew about Anis and Danny G. I don't think I watched anyone else back then. Maybe in 2009 I probably started watching Velu, but I saw Anis and Danny G before then. And there was a video that Danny G released it was in black and white. I can't remember the name of it now. But just every trick in that sample I loved. I remember he did gainer switches and snapu, a lot in that. And I saw the gainer switches, I think he did 10 in that video, and I said to myself, I'm gonna do more than that. And I saw snapu and I just thought, that's the coolest movement you can do, period. So I just trained those a lot.
I remember when you were the world record holder for switches.
Yeah, and that's why, because I saw Danny G and I thought, I'm going to do more than him.
Thinking about that. That's mad. That's sick. What was the record and when was it?
It's Velu, wasn't it? Before you.
No, wasn't it Velu after him?
No, Velu before, because I think that I remember Velu commenting on it, saying like, well done or something. As he is, really nice man.
Yeah, he's so lovely.
He wasn't mad at all that I'd done more. He was only happy. I think someone, because I did 15, I think the record before was 12 or 13. I don't know how many. I heard Yaki did a lot, but I heard it through someone else, and it was not on film, and he just done a lot in a session, and someone was like, yo, that was a lot, was it? Do you do 11? And he's like, oh, 12 or 13, but I don't know, no confirmation, never seen the footage. He did a lot though.
That's
so
it is kind of crazy, and then Ilya comes through and just does like
different story.
25
It's another game.
was he?
Yeah, he did 25 at Hooked.
Yeah, 25.
That was the hypest thing I've ever seen in my life, him doing 25 switches. I remember all 3 of us sat together. You sat with us.
Yeah, I was good.
I was next to Kojo. I remember we would get, because his switches look amazing. He
Yeah.
looked better than anybody's.
Yeah.
So we were hyped after like 3 switches because they were fast and powerful. I think he got to like 6 or 7, we calmed down.
Yeah.
Did a few more, we got excited again, we calmed down.
There was like so many waves.
I know.
And then he kept going, and then when it got to about 18, 19, we were like, he's just not going to stop.
Yeah.
He's not going to stop.
We're just
going to keep on going. The gathering's going to finish. He's still going to be there.
We just started having a party up on the balcony.
Oh, it was hype. That was really hype.
That was the hypest moment of my life.
Yeah.
And it probably will be. I don't care if someone does cork in, cork out, swing. They won't be as hype as 25 switches by Ilya in a battle.
It was the perfect time for it as well. Because I remember in the battle, it was like, ooh, what are you going to answer to that? And then he steps up. Like, no hesitation either. Doesn't really stand there and get ready. He's just like, alright, cool. And he just does 25.
I think that ended the battle as well. Like, the battle
Yeah, that was it. It was game over.
Nobody tricked after that.
Yeah.
That was just game over. There's no answer. There's no comeback from
And then
that.
he's gone.
Hey, he'll be back with more. Whatever he comes back with will be exciting.
You'll just be doing like gainer triple crash. Like 3. It's one. Somehow only 1.5 rotations, but with 3 kicks. So as he takes off, he does like half kick, and then he does the late hook, and then he doesn't even a second late hook. He just hovers above the ground for the second hooks. He's just like just spinning. Yeah, that'd be great.
What,
like a double leg
gainer,
hook.
hurricane.
Yeah.
But yeah, that moment, 25 switches, that's the hypest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But we were talking about gatherings. So, UK 11 was the first after meeting Bozzy.
Oh yeah.
And it was, we had to sleep on the grass. Not on the grass, sleep in tents on the grass. But yeah, I didn't really know anyone, so I can't even remember who I stayed with. But that was the first time I met a lot of people and made friends with them. And then from going to that and hanging out with Bozzy more, because after that, me and Bozzy trained a lot together and like, became good friends. But after going to that UK 11, Oh, in fact, because at the gym session the week before, this is what I was saying. Bozzy was there, and Bozzy was training on the other side of the floor. I was training on my side, on my own, because I'm the only tricker in the UK. And doing my moon kick swings, and Bozzy's like, "What the fuck? Like, who is this kid, and why can he do maneuvers like this?" So I spoke to him, and just on passing, he was like, "Oh, come to this event next week." So I went to that, and he was like, "Damn, he came. Like, didn't think you'd come." Hung out with him more, and then at the end of that gathering, I'm sure in passing again, Bozzy was like, "Yo, there's this event called Giga. You want to come to that?" And it was in like 2 weeks, and I was like, "Yeah, 100%, I'll come to that." So flew to Giga with Bozzy.
And that's the story of JFung and Bozzy's first kiss. They got to Giga and they kissed hard on the mouth just before entering the building.
But yeah, going to Giga, once I went to that, it was kind of, this is definitely what I'm going to do. I'm going to trick more, go to more gatherings.
What was Giga like?
Yeah, how different is Giga compared to gatherings now? Like hooked now?
Okay. So at the time, Giga was my second gathering, but after going to Giga, I went to a lot more gatherings. But Giga at the time seemed like hooked seems now compared to other gatherings. So it's bigger, by far the biggest event of its time, maybe 200-300 people, 2 sprung floors, another matted area.
A bar next to the
bar
floor.
in the gym, decent-ish sleeping area, like multiple rooms, and you took your air beds and sleeping bags and stuff, and lights would go out at night, and people were relatively respectful.
Except for Mons.
Yeah, except for Mons. We can talk about him.
Hater Corkson.
But decent showering situation, like. So it was a really good event. And it just seemed way bigger than everything else. So, imagine how Hooked feels now. That's what Giga felt like then. And then when Hooked came out, it just blew.
That was like 3 years after Giga stopped?
I can't remember. So maybe there was 3 Gigas, first in 2010.
Oh, it would have been a year or two then, because it was 2014. The first
I didn't go to Giga 1, I went to Giga 2 and 3.
Yeah.
So I went in 2011 and 2012, it must have been.
But yeah, times have really changed now. Like the biggest gatherings are like fucking massive.
Yeah, but I'm sure if Giga had carried on, it would have been as big as Hooked. I think Hooked, by the time Hooked came out, tricking was just bigger. And the first Hooked, they promoted it really, really well. But Giga didn't promote as well as Hooked did when it was coming out.
Well, also tricking was a lot smaller at that point.
Yeah, it was a lot smaller, and back then, when there was tricking events, everyone would go. Like there was enough trickers in the world, or a few enough trickers in the world, for when there to be an event, everyone in Europe would go, and you would see all the same faces there. Now you go to any gathering, and it's people you don't know.
Well, I think a big part of it is the lack of diversity of events as well back then, because there weren't as many like big gatherings. It was like Luke Kicks was like the fucking mecca of tricking, and Giga and the Big Trick were probably the 2 close follow-ups. But then
I think there was 1 or 2 Tampere Opens that were really big as well.
Oh yeah, that's true.
But not as big as Giga.
But still, though, that was kind of based off of like Team Unito. Like Team Unito were just like, right, everyone knows who we are. Let's make a gathering.
But back then, there's almost like a core European community back then that if they say we're going, there'd be a bunch of them that would all go.
Yeah, like Ben Corvey, Riato.
The Swedish guys, like Disastrix.
And Task as well. Because that was when there were 2 kind of big Swedish teams. Yeah. Back when teams were a thing. It's kind of weird how teams aren't really a thing anymore. Yeah, they are, but they're just kind of different.
It's not the same as it was.
Yeah.
Team logo.
Yeah. Oh, we should start a team with like jerseys and stuff.
We got the Garrison.
Nah, we should start Team Semtex. The revival of Team Semtex.
Team Peen.
Peem with an M.
Team Peen.
Yeah,
we call him Peen.
We've kind of started the transition period.
Yeah, anyone watching this, if you know Peen, Sean Sevestre, go onto one of his Instagram posts and just comment Peem.
Peen with an M.
With an M, so Peam. Just Peem.
Just comment Peem. His Instagram is at Sean Sevestre.
Yeah, he'll really like it.
Yeah.
He'll really, really like it.
As many of you as possible. That'd be great.
All 15 here.
Yeah, that kind of wraps up.
That wraps up that. Okay. Interesting little talk. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions or you agree, disagree, let us know in the comments. It is interesting seeing what you guys say in the comments. It does affect what we talk about.
Yeah.
And if you have any ideas for things that you want us to talk about, then just put it down in the comments and we can talk about it.
We have an abundance of ideas, but if somebody says something that we haven't thought of or something that we just think, oh yeah, we could talk about that, then we'll just do it. So why not? And massive thank you to JFung for giving us his time and his insight. Make sure you check him out on Instagram and sign up to Kojo Strict Lab. Buy something from the Subparty website. And so.